with the editor this morning is Andrew, and Andrew has just released some really exciting news with regards to finding some more efficiencies in the movement of freight throughout the SADC region, and specifically the product that they've launched has been around, I think, for a while. It's called empty trips, traditionally for the trucking freight side, now bringing in rail. So Andrew, thank you so much for joining me. Tell me a bit more about empty trips for rail.
Yeah, thank you. We're extremely privileged to chat to you this morning. And yeah, we're very excited about the product that we've launched. We launched successfully earlier in the year, just for context, our digital freight exchange, which was specifically targeted for road shippers and road carriers. The sort of philosophy and the mission of Empty Trips is to be and to continue to be an innovative disruptor. And it was always our plan to evolve the platform into further modes of transport, hence our very exciting product that we've launched specifically for rail. So, just very briefly, it's a digital freight exchange, which really just in essence means it's cloud-based, so it's accessible to any shipper or any carrier that is interested in being involved in digitizing their logistics processes and making logistics simpler across the continent, hence our launching for rail.
All right, so one of the things that I found quite interesting is that you're not starting here in South Africa, obviously, because open access isn't actually being implemented yet. But I saw that it was happening kind of Harare, Maputo, Ndola, Lusaka, and there was Durban put into it. So maybe just give me a context of how this is all going to work together. And following that, how you're engaging with the railway operators, because obviously you need to engage with them to find out what's empty and where, shippers can put stuff.
Yeah, exactly that. You alluded to it with the open access comment. So we've targeted very specifically some private rail carriers, and that's the terminology we're using. The rail carrier is a carrier that owns a locomotive and the running stock. So we've targeted some private ones. And yes, there are only a handful of those. But to get the platform going and to get it into a really viable product to go then further and broader with the product, there were private rail operators that currently run trains on those routes that you mentioned. And we're saying to them, because the majority of trains come back empty from the initial destination, we're saying, well, use the platform to market those empty wagons. And let's see which shippers are out there and to give them an alternative to road, typically for the copper belt, which is moved down by road at present. We're saying, well, now there's going to be a reliable rail alternative to that, to typically get with Zambia being a landlocked country, obviously it needs to get to a port somewhere. So we're saying if there's a train running there, we're saying we'll use our platform to easily book space, because, I reckon most of the shippers these days are very tech-savvy people. So they can be sitting anywhere. They can be sitting in a trading floor somewhere. They'll get notification on their smartphones, and they can book all in a cloud. They can book this wagon or as many wagons as they like, because they know this train is going. So that was the initial thinking. We specifically targeted these private rail operators that have these trains running. And we really, our philosophy, Philippa, even with road, is to go slow initially, just to go fast later, and hopefully we'll get exponential later. But that was our thinking initially, specifically those private rail carriers. We see already the demand for trains is high. So to get the shipper to book space, I don't think that's going to be that challenging. I think our challenge is going to be getting enough of the rail operators to run, that there are sort of trains out there to run to offer to these shippers.
Well, that kind of brings around a conclusion to the question I had a moment ago, which was around the wagons that you mentioned on your press release. And for my readers who haven't seen the press release, I'll link it down in the description, because not all the operators have those kinds of wagons. It is predominantly the private guys who have the special skeletal wagons that can carry things. When you talk about going slowly, what is the next step? So now you've made the announcement, the platform is available. I'm assuming that you can access this platform via your website, which will also be in the link description below. What is the next step? Where's the next exciting point?
It's really to get the handful of private rail operators that I mentioned to you, is to get them all on board. But a couple of them that we've spoken to already simply don't have the number of trains out there. I mean, some of them aren't even running trains at the moment. So we do realize it's going to be slow, but the one particular one we've got is going to be our pilot, is to trial that. But then eventually, Philippa, is to expand this to, I mean, I'm going to be talking to Transnet at some stage. I've already got some context there. I mean, that is going to be really, and not that rail is not great, but there's so much focus on rail at the moment. If we as Empty Trips, and again, we want to be the technology company for maybe or whoever to say, we've got this tech. So, and because of my background has been in logistics for 30 years, I understand the importance of getting stuff from A where it's needed to be. I understand that, and critically important, and that it's road or by ship or by train, the same principles will be there. We as Empty Trips, because we've got a strong development team and we've got some, significantly strong backers, we want to be the tech company for anybody that says, listen, how can we make this platform better to help even the Transnets of the world, which we want to go and see them, and it's to say, how can we partner with you? We're not here to tread on toes. We're not here to say how good or bad anybody is. We're not doing it. We're coming fresh. We're innovative thinkers. We want to help them make rail great again. That's really what I want to do. And please don't publish that I'm saying rail is not great. We're not saying that, but we want to be the enabler. So the next steps is to say the more and more people see this platform and see it working, because we want this one train to work well. Once that train starts to publish this empty space, we're saying functionality works well. We've got a great track record. We want to go to more routes, to more countries.
So I think for you, what's going to be quite exciting is that when we really start seeing the impacts of the borderless trains. So we've already, had a couple of tests and again, piloted with Transnet, so those trains go all the way up and then they've got to come down. So it'll be fantastic, to bolt onto the back of that, that excess space and cargo, making it even more efficient and reliable. Andrew, I wish you all the best, and I look forward to our next conversation, because I think our next conversation is going to continue around the borderless trains and the opportunity there. And then also in our next conversation, we're going to talk about building the relationships with the operators throughout the SADC region, who also in turn are wanting to do that, seamless train back into South Africa. So I think we have lots to talk about, but congratulations on putting the first step down, and I look forward to seeing how this goes.
Philippa, thank you so much. We as I said, we're excited. I sometimes can't contain my excitement. So, I think we got something, and we just want to, I'm not going to repeat what we said, but thank you for your time. Thank you for your input. And I really do look forward to many more engagements with you.